What's going on, guys? This is Mitchell back with Slammed Outdoors, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about frog fishing and the tackle that I use for frog fishing. I'm going to talk about reels, rods, and just about everything that you need to know for frog fishing from a tackle perspective, and also just some tips and tricks that I picked up from doing it for the last couple of years. So first off, I'm going to talk about the reel and the rod that I use. So the reel that I use for this mainly is a Pflueger President bait casting reel. You can throw a spinning reel in this as well, but I would definitely recommend a bait caster. Something with a big line capacity that you can throw a heavy braid with easily is something that I would definitely recommend. So this is a 200 size reel, 6:3 to 1 gear ratio. I don't personally think that helps a ton. Probably a faster reel would be better for this. And then I have 30-pound braid spooled on this right now. I don't frog fish super heavy cover. If I did, I'd probably go up to 50-pound, maybe even up to 60 or 75-pound. But I would really focus on I'd focus on using straight braid. 30-pound is good. My general rule is if you're going to use a bait caster, 30 to 65-pound braid. And if you're going to use a spinning reel, probably try to keep it under a 30-pound braid. So it's my recommendation for a reel. Any bait casting reel will work. That'd probably be your best option. Rod, this is the rod that I usually use for frog fishing. It's a St. Croix Triumph bait casting rod, 7-foot, medium power, fast action. Throws between 10 and 17-pound line, 1/4 to 3/4 ounce. To me, I really like the size on that. So it's only a 7-foot. Probably the ideal frog fishing specs are going to be somewhere between like 7.3 and 7 foot. But I've seen some people that use like 7.6. I think the recommended size is about 7.3, just because you want something with a longer tip, but you don't want it to be so long that you risk breaking a rod. You want something that's going to withstand throwing heavier braid, having big hook sets, and but having a shorter tip lets you control it a little bit more. So that's kind of what I like for rods and reels. So this gets us to our different kinds of frogs. And these are the two frogs that I use the most. They're both made by Live Target. This is the Live Target popping frog. I just started fishing with this not that long ago. I really like its motion in the water, and it kicks up a lot. So if you like to throw a popper, I'd probably recommend trying this out. It's a great take on a popping style bait. Also looks like a frog. It's not what I mainly fish with though. My go-to frog is the Live Target hollow body frog. And I personally think this is the greatest frog ever made. I have a bunch of these. This is my favorite color though, with kind of the brown top with a white belly. Seems to work the best for me in Ohio, kind of the Midwest area as well. What I really like about it is you get a really nice hook point. So you can kind of see, like, if I squeeze the back on this, all these hooks are exposed. So I really like getting that double hook point. So that's what I really like about these. The one thing, so this is my go-to frog right here. And this is the medium size, I guess. If you look on like Tackle Warehouse, there's like 3 sizes of these. This is the second, this is the metal size of the 3. And for the fish that I fish for, they have trouble eating the bigger frogs. So I have noticed, I thought when I started, maybe getting a really big frog would be more noticeable, but getting a frog that's a little smaller, they seem to still find it okay, and they eat it a lot better. So that's kind of the size that I recommend. And then finally, there are 2 kind of tackle tips that I have for frog fishing. I have some footage to show also, they'll show after this. A lot of people talk about boiling their frogs in water, like in hot water. And the reason is that softens the plastic up. So that way, if you push it down easier, it takes less force to move the plastic. And then it should help improve your hookup ratio, is what I've heard. I personally have never done that, but I would imagine that it works pretty well. What I usually do is, if you leave these outside for a while, if you leave it in your car, that has the same effect. A lot of times if I leave a rod in my car and it's a frog, it does seem to be a little bit softer when I come back to it. Same effect in my opinion. And then the other thing is I love to trim the legs up. So I didn't do it with a popping frog. I haven't had it that long. So the legs on these kind of look the same when they come out of the package. But the legs on my hollow body, I cut short. The reason is when you're walking this thing on the surface, you don't want fish just striking at the legs. you want them to hit kind of in the target of the frog. So if you trim your legs back, it gives them a smaller target. They're more likely to get it. And the other thing I like to do is these legs are hair off center. You'll notice the back right leg is a hair shorter than the back left leg. And the reasoning for that is that way, if you try to walk it in the water, when you stop moving it, it'll kind of turn towards the shorter leg. So that way, if you're walking it back and forth on the surface, I think it just gets a little better motion that way. So that's kind of my tackle tips for frog fishing. And now I'm gonna roll into some footage about kind of what to do when you have a frog eat. The most important things are keeping your frog moving in the water. And then once you see this thing get eaten, do not rush the hook set. It's the toughest thing in frog fishing. This thing just disappears from the surface. You want to set the hook, it will just come flying back at you. You got to really let them eat it, let them hold on to it, and that helps your chances a lot. But yeah, so this is my frog tips. I love to throw a bait casting reel with braid. I think it keeps the fish on better. The live target frogs, mainly the hollow body, is my favorite. And then bait casting rod, like in the 7-foot range, that's a little stiffer. It's kind of my go-to. So now I'm gonna roll into some footage and we'll show that next. I got you.
So, look at that.
Understandable.
That's how I got the bag.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah. You hooked one too. Oh, that's a nice one. You choked that.
Came right out though.
Holy.
3, bro?
Dude, look at that throat. Dude,
I was like, I think he got it. I'm like, the mat is swimming away.
I was like, yeah.
This is a really good lane. Got him. Oh. That was such a good fish. Did you see that thing?
Oh, I did.
That was I like to move it a ton and just kill it. Oh my god. That was a good fish.
I know it. Didn't have the back, but you know.
Got him that time. Now.
Oh yeah, look at that thing.
That is how you catch them on the frog. Oh, he spit it. That looks like a pond fish right there.
Oh, look at that baby.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
On the frog. That's the first one. That's the first one that's held on to it. He was right where he was supposed to be too. That's, I don't know, 2, 3. He's been eating though.
Yeah, the frog's eating.
These bullfrogs up here have had to deal with this guy. See ya, buddy. It's harder to do anything with it with the more water in it, because when it walks, it does it under the surface, but it gives them a much bigger target. Because when I put that last one, I put water in it, and when he hit it, I got him. Now, that might not have had any impact, but I kind of just squish water out of it as a habit, and I really shouldn't, just because I think sometimes it does help.